Well, there's the season 2 finale of Better Call Saul. My guests tonight are executive producer Peter Gould and Vince Gilligan, and the one and only Mike Ehrmantraut, Jonathan Banks. I am Chris Hardwick, and welcome to Talking Saul. Please hello to my guests, Peter Gould, Vince Gilligan, Jonathan Banks. Welcome them. First of all, I have to thank you and congratulate you, Peter and Vince. This show is fantastic. I would swear if I could and say it is effing fantastic, but it really is, and it gets better and better and better. And watching your backstory, since we know where everyone ends up ultimately, what was season 2 like for you with Mike and everything that went down?
Why are you congratulating Peter and Vince? I mean, what? I didn't do anything there?
First of all, you brought a microphone, which is awesome.
My own mic. I bring my own microphone.
Listen, honestly, if this entire show was just you singing lounge covers, I would watch it. Yeah. I'd watch it.
Wow, that's an
Some enchanted evening.
No, get out of here. That's 12-year-old stuff. You go Bunny Berrigan.
Yeah.
Carmichael?
The best.
The best. What was season 2 like for me?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, I love playing the character. And believe it or not, I trust these two guys. Maybe way too much sometimes. But, I mean, for Jonathan, it was just a joy to do it. And, you know, I love the show. I love playing my character.
But since we all know where Ehrmantraut ends up, we know in Breaking Bad, I assume everyone's seen Breaking Bad. How does that inform? Because the story that you have to tell is how do you make this character likable, or how do you make this character sympathetic? So knowing where he ends up, how has that affected your journey with Saul?
Well, I don't know how to break this to you, but I know where you end up, too.
That's true.
Ain't none of us getting out of here alive.
No. Good night. What is that? Was all
you know, Mike's been hard a long time. And to peel that back and watch how he became, the different places that he lost his soul, and obviously the greatest one being the death of his son that he's responsible for, that he feels that he's responsible for. But even past that, I like that we brought the sniper rifle in and his familiarity with it, and knowing that at one point with the wooden stock, it warped.
Yeah.
You know, Mike is rich all the way down the line. And I've always felt like I don't want to reveal too much about him, because it's nice to have your own imagination about where Mike has come from.
Yeah.
Am I answering your question?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because ultimately, what it seems is that this is a show about people who are trying to do the best they can with the skill sets they have. Yeah. And you constantly see those skill sets, like that's just kind of who they are, no matter what they're doing. That's their filter. So Vince, what is the process for you guys of navigating Mike's backstory on this and kind of getting us to there?
Now, are you going to let me use your microphone? Or?
Your microphone works. His microphone went out. That's why we gave him the stick mic. Yeah.
We gave him a hard time.
Did you enjoy it?
Navigating Mike. Well, navigating Jonathan's one thing. Navigating Mike. You know, it's tricky with Mike and with all these characters who, as you said, we know where they wind up on Breaking Bad, and there's a lot of detail carpentry involved. There's a lot of dovetail making in the sense of we have to Mike can't go past a certain point, obviously, you know, as relates to where we know he's going to wind up on Breaking Bad. So we have to take things at a certain pace. We find it's more interesting to see Mike in the early days as someone who's not necessarily yet a stone cold killer who hesitates to pull that trigger, as we learned this season. He doesn't want to have to pull that trigger. He's the guy that doesn't. Even in this episode, we see him hesitate when Nacho is standing between him and his target. That's a trait that we might not see in Breaking Bad coming from Mike Ehrmantraut.
Why do you think he didn't just take out Nacho? Like, why do you think he just didn't shoot Salamanca through Nacho.
And he certainly could. I mean, that rifle would have definitely done the trick. But he is, to me, for my money, he's not, for a stone-cold killer, he's not yet a stone-cold killer. He is a guy, as we've seen last season, capable of killing 2 Philadelphia police officers, but for a very good reason. If there is a good reason for such things.
They killed my son.
Yeah, they killed your son.
But that doesn't make him stone cold.
I think Nacho's been observing Mike, and he's realizing this man's got some kind of demons. You know, when Mike decides to get beaten up to a pulp by Tuco and almost provoking it, that's when Nacho realizes that this man, despite what he's saying, is on some kind of a self-inflicted punishment. And he quickly realizes that there's bad blood that Mike isn't willing to let go of. So already he's thinking, I hope he doesn't do anything. He says, man, just keep your cool. And then obviously Mike keeps the driver alive in a way that is provocative. Anybody in their right minds wouldn't pick a fight with the opposition to provoke the ego and start a war. And I think that's where there's a huge break between the 2 men.
Welcome back to Talking Saul. I'm Chris Harbert. That's Michael Mondo discussing Nacho's very intricate relationship with Mike. But Jonathan, why didn't Mike go along with Nacho's plan and just kill Tuco in the first place?
Well, this is where, you know, you got to bring me along slowly, and this is where I trust my writers, because if it was left up to Jonathan, there would have been mass murder already.
Oh, good.
He should have killed us already.
Yeah, we would have been first to go.
I would be looking for people to kill. You know, no, he's not. It's just what Vince said. He's not there yet. He's not that guy yet.
How was the fight scene to shoot?
Oh, man, Ray Cruz. Ray Cruz is such a good guy. And, you know, you're out there, and it was very warm that day. It was around 100 degrees, so we're out there, and we're doing what we're doing. But Ray, you can't, for what, 4 hours maybe?
Was that how long it was?
Yeah, I think so. I can't grab you, and we can't be doing this and this and this and this. And then finally, the skin was broken on both my wrists, you know, just from, and Ray was absolutely the consummate professional. But you just can't be that physical and not have something happen. But my double, my stuntman, Doc Dumais, he's not in there much. There's just that one shot from the back. I love doing that scene. So much of it, you're in such a cerebral place so much of the time, and when you finally get to be physical, it's just a relief. It's fun.
Favorite Mike moment this season? The truck heist. He used a garden hose, turned spike strip to score $250 grand. Boxing Tuco. Of course, he took some serious abuse to put a very bad man away. Or pop-up time. Like, he may be a badass, but he's a very big softy when it comes to Kaylee. Jonathan, what's your favorite type of scene to shoot for Mike?
I like the fight scenes. But I also love it when I get a 4 or 5 page monologue and I get to break out of that. I want to ask a question though,
sure.
Because when I watch Jimmy's relationship and the brothers, and I just think about it, and the audience here and the audience out there. And I know it's a really touchy place, but familial forgiveness. About at what point do you, to save yourself, that you remove yourself and you don't forgive? And I don't know where I'm going with that, but when I watch the show, I wonder.
It's tough, isn't it?
It's tough.
You don't want Jimmy to be a schmuck, and yet I would lose. If not respect, I would lose some kind of love for Jimmy if he just suddenly turned his back, because his brother is kind of ill. I don't think the meanness that his brother exhibits and the envy comes from the illness. But
the brother, you got a brother. You tell me if I'm right or wrong. You also have a brother that essentially, out of that jealousy, is destroying him in many ways too.
I mean, they're kind of destroying each other in different ways. There's definitely a rivalry for sure. But yeah, you're right. At the core of it, though, they are brothers. Yeah. And on the surface, they might react in emotional moments, but they're always, I would imagine, because it's family, they're always going to come back together. Ooh. By the way, 48% said truck heist. 48% loved the truck heist. That was our top. Right.
But
that was our most voted.
I know we got to go there. But when you say, you just said, because it's family, you come back to forgiveness. I guarantee you, there are people out there that have seen some really rough stuff in their families, and in order for them to survive, they sure as hell better not forgive.
All right, you know what? I think you need a hug.
Coming up, we're going to have more exclusive interviews from the cast you won't want to...
You just did what most of the audience has been wanting to do for 5 years. I want to congratulate Mr. Jonathan Banks, who was just made a Doctor of Humane Letters by Indiana University recently. Congratulations, Dr. Banks, the original Banksy.
One of the most fulfilling, thrilling moments of my life, and can't really quite take it in. But that's a place that in many ways sent me here, saved my life, I could try to give back to that school and for the rest of my life, and I never would be able to give enough. So yeah, I'm very proud and I'm very touched, and I do not have words for it.
Well, that's all right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's very lovely. I want to talk.
Season 3. Speaking only as a fan, I want to see Mike and Jimmy teaming up, getting locked in a ticket booth more often and arguing, because it's just fun to play those scenes with Jonathan Banks, and it's fun to watch those two together. A Batman and Robin who hate each other, and Batman is violent and might kill Robin.
This is Talking Saul. That was Bob Odenkirk on what he'd like to see in season 3 of Better Call Saul. What do you want? What do you enjoy about working with Bob? Your scenes together are pretty great.
We have a pretty good time, and it's hard to keep a straight face. I mean, Bobby does things, for Christ's sake. I'm always walking around, excuse me if I offend you, but I'll say if I'm frustrated or hurt myself, oh, Christ on a crutch. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of my ear like that, I hear, it wasn't so much the injury, it was the recovery time. And it's Bobby off the top of his head.
Peter and Vince, what can we expect to see next season?
I think we're going to find out who wrote that note.
I hope so.
Or at least Mike will.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And also, congratulations on an amazing season. I mean, it was to take a character that was basically a kind of a side character. He was a main character, but the focus of Breaking Bad was Walter, and to make the show such a rich tapestry with all of the characters and the intricate stories and the complexity of the characters. I mean, huge congratulations to these gentlemen and ladies who also write on the staff. Thank you so much for watching Talking Saul. Peter Gould, Vince Gilligan, Jonathan Banks.